UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. This is your Wolf Commander. I am your werewolf, Wolf Tamia. Back again with another Wolf Commander Rambles here on our Thursday. Today we will be discussing leadership in fiction, leadership in media, and what makes a good leader. So, we're going to be talking about the qualities of a great leader and all of our favorite fictional leaders, from your comic books to your movies to your TV shows to even your cartoons and anime. Let me welcome to the chat, everybody. I'm so sorry that I started late, by the way. So let's start off with Chris P, who was first. He was usually our regular, but he hasn't been in these quite shindigs for quite some time, especially even in the rewatches. So welcome back, KC. Oh, sorry, Chris P. I got you guys names are interchangeable. I'm so sorry about that. We also have Brian Gill Martin, our new regular, or rather our usual regular. Well, let's welcome to our new regular, Leia Plus Size, and sorry, I bypassed Melissa Harris. Hello, Melissa Harris. Sorry you couldn't stay with us, but I'm glad that you give us a shout out. See you at the professor's tonight. I'm pretty sure he's doing either a book study or maybe he's doing something for the Catholic Bible Geek. We also, and that's also unfortunate that Daniel Herron's stream didn't pop up, but we did have Green Lion Girl to entertain us that day. Yes, we have started Leia Plus Size. We have started. And I guess that's everybody for now until the usual people start coming in. We're going to get a big crowd, guys. So the show us begin. So everybody, one thing we all love above your rogues, your tanks, your hot shots, your sexy vixens, your femme fatales, your good girl heroes. What we love most of all, especially when we have an ensemble cast, is a great and brilliant leader. Now, I'll go over my qualities of my own personal qualities of what makes a good leader, or what I believe makes good leadership. I'll go over some of the best leadership skills and go over the greatest leaders in my book of my own media and that I've come across too. And you guys can add in your favorite leaders as well. And I'm talking about fictional leaders. I'm not talking about real life leaders. We know who our real life leaders is, and you guys know who my real life leaders are. From the times I've been talking about this, from the time I've talked about this on Ishi Stream in the mystifying the black man burdens. You know who my real life leaders are, but I'll tell you who my real life leaders currently today will be: Denzel Washington and Morgan Freeman. Beautiful black men that speak in a leadership tone. Beautiful black men that lead. But that's another topic for another discussion, of as usual, as I repeat myself in these type of streams. So let's go over the qualities of leadership. My own qualities. I like leaders that know how to keep their group together. I like leaders that also know how to charge in with their troops alongside with them. I even like the ones that command a bit of respect and grandiose and have a grandiose about them. I also like leaders that tend to have faults and are willing to do things to get the job done, either to get the job done or to do things that were necessary to achieve a goal, even if they are vilified in the end for doing so. Now, I talked about the fixation on villains and heroes doing evil deeds that'll make them bad guys, but there are certain heroes that I'm willing to accept that and willing to allow that due to their personality and their motivations. So I'll go over the qualities of leadership. I would say one quality I like is integrity, or at least the virtues that a leader should have: integrity, dignity, a sense of code of honor. There's also you could also put in spirituality as well. I like leaders that are also spiritual, the ones that are willing to consult with their deities in fiction to achieve victory or to achieve counsel. I respect leaders that consult their women in their lives, their wives, or maybe the lovers in their lives that give them sound advice and emotional advice to get them through the day. I'm talking about husbands consulting their wives and their wives reassuring them that they will win the day, so to speak. I can even go over the qualities of bravery. The one that don't think that they're a leader, but are willing to take up the mantle of leadership in the heat of the cause. I'm talking about the King Arthurs, the King Arthur types, or at least the Arthurian types, if you will. I like those kind of those born self-made leaders, as I like to call them, self-made, or even the rise to the occasion leader. I even like the leaders that are willing to put themselves right on the same level of their cohorts and have a drink with them, and still maintain the chain of command the next day. We can even go over villain leaders. What are the best villain leaders? And we can talk about the qualities of the villains per se. In fact, this will be a double topic: villains that we like that are leaders, and good guys that we like that are leaders. So I'll go over the integrity side of leadership. I'll read that in a bit, Brian. One thing I know is that a leader always keeps their cool and keeps their integrity. They make their promises to their troops, or at least they try their best to make their promises fulfilled to their troops. You got you got those that are willing to acquire goods to keep their troops morale high, like say resources, food. That's also a resource. Weapons, armor, and I'm talking about in fantasy setting, or at least a medieval setting. How they go about acquiring that can be debatable, and oftentimes it is. Sometimes it goes through a marriage that you don't that with our current sensibilities would find very questionable, but it was of the time, which we're that's something that most people don't tend to jump into that topic, or at least come to that conclusion. They tend to question that and not reach that conclusion to accept it, like it was of the time. Everybody has this end all be all perspective now. That they view it in that lens, so that's how they're going to judge it. But a leader is willing to make those noble decisions, or at least those type of questionable decisions, to get his troops fed, armored, and armed. And who I'm talking about, who does that? Griffith from Berserk. He is he is the type of leader that I tend to go go for when it comes to that type of integrity, and when it comes to fulfilling promises. He was willing to sleep with a duke to earn money and resources for his troops, the Band of the Hawk. We can look at that and say that's disgusting. That dude, he basically slept with a child predator. In other words, the Duke himself. But we understood the motive why he did it, and even then, the altercation still haunts him. or at least the things that he's willing to go for or willing to do to achieve his victory, which is the castle that he imagined himself living haunts him. There in some cases you see him scratching himself to the point of breaking flesh. He bleeds. You see that it's shown in those rare cases where he does show vulnerability, and that's another quality I liked about Griffith before the turn of the eclipse when he becomes femto, was that there when you do get those rare moments where he's vulnerable, you can see that there's times he has a burden to hold on to. You even see him at times mingling with his soldiers, but they still respect them by the next day. You see him have a mead with them. You'll see him throwing water on guts. He has a little childish nature to him. In other words, there's even a moment where he even he shows that he was happy that Casca has returned to him, her and Guts, after Guts has slaughtered quote unquote 100 men. And then there's a moment where he even has there's that exchange between him and Princess Charlotte, where you get that extra layer as well, where you get that workman side to him, which makes him compelling. And this quote was what sold me about Griffith, and I would even say that I would have went along with him too if I was in that era of Berserk. But yep, yep, definitely gonna read that. You got your comments. I'm sorry. Whenever time I pause, is because when I look at your comments and there's, it's like I see them and I'm like, man, that's juicy. That's really juicy. Because I tell you guys, each of your comments starts like as short as your comments can be. It's very it really gets me on the drive. It really gets me going. Like each of your comments really can have me give you guys a really good discussion there. So I'll be reading them soon. Keep supplying me them. Keep supplying. Um, where was I? Yeah, Griffith. Griffith was an outstanding leader. And again, going to the exchange between him and Charlotte, he says this line because Charlotte has it in her head that just because they respect him and they go to war with him and they die for him, that makes them his friends. And you find out through this one line, they they serve me well and they will die for me and they love me, but that does not make them my friend. And you hear that, and you like if anybody if think about that line for one cool minute. If you were part of the Band of the Hawk, and if he said that imagine if he said that among the Band of the Hawk, and imagine how they would react. Because the way how people behave around Griffith, it seems like it seems like to infer that they treat him as a friend. But if they ever heard that, how would they react? I don't expect a definitive answer from any of you guys, and I'm not going to give you my definitive answer because that could be layers upon layers of how everybody could react. Because even if they don't have to hear that line from him, each and every one has their own way of how they act around Griffith. You have Judo, who's the easygoing, laid back, neutral guy, but he's willing to do his job according to how Griffith orders. You have Corcus, who has this mindset of glory, riches, women, but he idolizes Griffith to no end, to the point where he's even willing to kill Guts over Griffith. I need context on that, Arcade Burns. I really wouldn't like some context there. Anyways, you also have, of course, Casca, who is so devoted to him. She's kind of like that love struck girl that's hoping to win the guy at the end. She's got that fairy tale mindset about her, but she also has that lieutenant mindset. She's still like she's basically his second, Guts being his third. Wow. I still need a little bit more context. Or is that a joke that you're doing and I can't see the joke, Arcade Barnes? Welcome everybody to the chat. Arcade Barnes, by the way. He's here. I'm sure we're gonna get more listeners coming in. I shared the stream on both fronts, Twitter and Facebook. So hopefully we'll get more people in. And then there's also Guts who later on has decided to break away from the Band of the Hawk. But he has a huge amount of respect for Griffith, even though they had that one duel that ultimately led them among a member of the Band of the Hawk, which is funny because the Band of the Hawk saw Guts as more of a thug, a ruffian, but then he became over time his own leader and his raiders. He commanded a legion of raiders. If you guys ever read or watched Berserk, he has his own command of raiders, which stands to reason that he's also okay, I gotta highlight this. Oh, that's nice. I just walked in and I'm sure you or someone else has just cleaned some trash. But I imagine you in front of a press conference announcing some player trades. I do kind of. Okay, guys, let me know in the chat what kind of aura do I give off with just my voice alone. You guys never seen my face, or some of you may have if you guys have friended me on Facebook. But without my face and just my voice, what kind of aura do I give off, or what kind of stature do I give off? Do I give off leadership stature, or do I give off a president stature? In the case of Arcade Barnes. So yeah, again, Guts is a leader himself. Many people I wouldn't say many, but few people tend to forget that Guts in his own right is also a leader. He commands his own raiders, and especially in the first scene when they go against I believe they call it the Iron Ram Legion or the Iron Ram Knights, where Guts kills their commander in a very, very, very spectacular fashion, if I say so myself. Casco's also a leader in her own right when she commands her own faction among the band of the Hawk with Corcus, Pippin, even Rickard along with her at times. And then there's times they'll be with Griffith. But she has her own little posse too in command next to Griffith. Again, she's his second. But we also fast forward after Griffith's betrayal, she takes control of she takes leadership of the Band of the Hawk in that heated moment. And this is where I go. This is where I go again. My list of Quasi's leadership. The rise to the occasion leader. She rose to the occasion and took command and got them out of that scuffle with the Midland Army. And she continued to do so after that betrayal. even though most of them had left, some have perished. There were still others that were still willing to serve under her command, and she still held together. Even though there were times she broke down, and even when Guts came back and she almost killed herself, she kept going. Guts Guts basically strengthened her morale, yes, but she kept going. At least until that fateful eclipse. That eclipse that we never shut up about, and we still will never shut up about because we're true fans of Berserk. You guys want me to say anything about Power Rangers? Because I did use the Forever Red picture as the thumbnail. So I guess I'll go with also my favorite leaders of the Power Rangers series, starting with Jason. Jason is a good leader too, and in 90s standards, even though he's a teenager, he was able to lead the Power Rangers in many dangerous battles, even against the Green Ranger. Even though, even when he challenged the Green Ranger head on, he was able to he was willing to charge the Green Ranger head on. Took a blunt strike from the Green Ranger. He was still ready to go. Grant, he had moments where he was so angry that they lost, because that's one thing I loved about 90s shows. There were actually characters that actually were taking losses, and they were actually handling losses like head on, emotionally and physically. So there was few episodes where Jason was always was ready to just go in and take another crack at Tommy, because that loss they had that day. Or there's even moments where he softened and tried to talk Tommy into joining the Power Rangers and leave Rita, even though we all know, us the audience know, that Tommy's under a spell and they'll have to break it. Which was I would admit, Green with Evil ended on a cheap way, because the start of Green with Evil, she already placed a spell on him. But for some reason, the spell can be broken if you destroy the quote unquote Sword of Darkness. Yeah, that's a nice trivia. I'll read that later. Sorry, guys. Arcade distracted me there. And when I say distraction, guys, don't take it as a bad thing. That's a good thing. It keeps me on an even kill, so when I know when the time to break to read your comments. But back to Jason. Jason Jason was willing to so the Power Rangers were willing to lead the first chance they got when they were summoned by Zordon and Alpha. But when the action came in, they all took action, especially Jason, and then they came back and became the Power Rangers that we knew. Then later we had Tommy leading the charge. No, actually no, it was Rocky. But let's not kid ourselves. When the second season came around, it was Tommy's show. Once Jason had left, JC, that was also JC. Jason, I am fumbling on words now. That was Jason, Trini, and Zach that had left and were replaced by Rocky, Aisha, and Adam. But let's not kid ourselves. Soon as Tommy came back as the White Ranger, it was his show mostly. Granted, we did get scenes where Rocky was leading, but we all know this was the Tommy Oliver series, because he was getting the most character development. Not really much so with Rocky all that much. He was mostly playing secondary leader role. Then we later have TJ in Turbo, which replaced Tommy. At that point, Tommy was the de facto leader since Zeo up to Turbo, and then TJ replaced Tommy. Now TJ was an interesting case, because again, they saw his first introduction to the whole world of Power Rangers was when Cat was being attacked by Divatox's new Putty Patrol, as I like to call them. I forgot what they're called. I think they're called Piranatrons. They were talk. She was attacked by the Piranatrons. Cassie was willing to bail out, but she followed him to. One thing I liked about Cassie was realistically she said she's not going to get into a scuffle because we don't know what they're dealing with, which is realistic. I wouldn't go as far as to call what she was doing cowardly, but she went with him anyways to make sure he doesn't get hurt because they were riding together going to Angel Grove. They were leaving. I believe she was from I know he was from Coast. They were from a rival city. That's what they were from, and that rival city was mentioned time and time again in the first season. Um, I think it was called Canyon City or something Canyon. I forgot. It's been a long time. But he rose to the occasion too, like a leader should. He led the charge. He fought the Pronchons, and he was selected to be the leader of the Turbo Rangers. And throughout the whole thing, he even I would say this one thing I liked about TJ at the end of Turbo was that man when their backs were against the wall, like at that point he was going all in. All of them followed him in that idea. He sacrificed the weapons. He sacrificed the Megazords. Him and the Power Rangers sacrificed a lot in Turbo at the end. Well, we can discuss that. Um, that's one thing. Like Turbo was not a good series in itself. It wasn't really a good season. It had a lot of hijinks, and that's only due to the Sentai that they adapted. Which the Sentai they adapted, Car Ranger, was not meant to be a serious Sentai show. It was more of a parody of Sentai, and that's why you got little weird stuff like a baseball bat monster, or say a pizza monster. A pizza monster spell who can be stopped with a stoplight. Even the power of pizzas are no match for a stoplight. I love Blue. I love Blue Centurion. Y'all let me know if y'all love the Blue Centurion. Of all the armored sentient robot like characters in Power Rangers. Next to Ninjor, I love the Blue Centurion. Anybody remember Ninjor? It is I, Ninjor. That Dudley Do Right voice does him so well. He almost sounded like Major Glory at times. But yeah, getting a little off topic there. Yeah, I have to give TJ the most prop. A lot of people don't say much about TJ, and that's why I'm bringing them up now. Because even in Power Rangers conversations, they don't really say much about TJ. But TJ did a lot in Turbo, whole lot, and the qualities of leadership really was tested in the penultimate episodes when Divatox raided the command center, and he even then it's like Alpha was telling them all to leave. He's like, no, we're gonna stay and we're gonna fight. I was like, yeah, that's right, TJ. You gonna stay in? I was a kid, man. I was hyped up. Like yeah, y'all gonna stay and fight, and they still end up losing either way. But that was like a really good quality of TJ willing to muster up his leadership and lead his troops along to keep fighting, even if they do die. So that's another quality I liked about a leader, a leader that's willing to self-sacrifice, even in with the odds stacked against them. You guys are fading out. Maybe that's StreamYard lying to me. So just letting you. I need a roll call, everybody. Tell me you're here because StreamYard is telling me there's only 2 watchers, or you guys are having trouble with your connection, or maybe my connection's screwing up. I don't know. But I'm gonna soldier on. I'm gonna keep soldiering on. So that's my. I don't probably. This is not the power of the stream. I will give you guys a little preview of what's going to be happening in the power of the stream. Sorry, scream. It's October. I can say scream. Okay, so Brian's still here. Is everybody else still here? Because StreamYard can get funky sometimes. I want to make sure everybody's still here, and hopefully everybody's here participating. Anyways, let's go with Arthur, the fabled leader that a lot of people tend to aspire to mostly. Well, you better learn some trivia, because if that's happening, well, as in fact, Leia plus size. When the power of the stream do happen, I'm definitely gonna lay down some trivia for you guys. So so I'm pretty sure you're probably gonna be just wowed by all the knowledge I have, or at least be wowed by all the knowledge that other people will have, and probably correcting my information when that stream happens. I'll tell you my favorite seasons after the Zordon era, as we like to call it. Definitely when we get that bridge built. So let's go with Arthur, the archetypal leader that we all strive to be in Arthurian lore. What's the quality about Arthur? He rose to the call. Um, Even when people doubted his lineage, he still commanded an army. Even at that moment, he wields the sword that symbolizes a leadership. Like, once you wield the sword Excalibur, you're basically the leader. He is a godly man, faithful. He's a just leader, very just, even sparing those that would have otherwise killed him if given a chance. He even has the quality of knowing when he has faults, and he's not infallible. When he challenged Lancelot to a duel, lost a few bouts, and cleaved into the man's chest. In a way, you would say he had killed him in that instant, but he realized that his rage. And I'm going by the movie Excalibur for reference, which is probably not a good point of reference, but it's a start, to say the least. But there are some qualities about Arthur that a lot of young men, as I would like to say, young men would like to strive to be, in terms of if they want to be a leader. And it's because of Powers and King Arthur, and many shows in the 90s that tend to inspire me to be sort of a leader in my life, and mostly that. So it started with Arthur, King Arthur, and it definitely started with King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, which was an interesting take on King Arthur. But it also cemented when Power just came to be, and for every show that came across in the 90s, I immediately latched onto the leader. And let me highlight Leah plus size comment here to help me out with this. So yeah, that movie is a classic. I still love to watch it. You have the Arthurian legend in many movies. Yes, you do. You can see it in many a superhero, many a warrior. You can even see it in many a soldier. Even you have Captain America, for one. Captain America has got to be the definite quintessential Arthurian type hero. You see it in I was black. His name was in my mind. I'm blanking out on him already. You can even say Thor is one almost, or at least he's more in a Shakespearean sense. You even have it in Cyclops. Cyclops is one. As a matter of fact, Cyclops is Arthur among the X-Men. If you really, really think about it. As Leia plus size mentioned, Luke Skywalker. Yes, Luke Skywalker answered the call, and he rose to being a leader. That's right, Brian Gilmartin. Let me highlight your comment real quick. Seems that King Arthur's Knights of the Round Table inspired quite a few heroes. The power, and you know, let me go with that one. The Round Table really highlights how the '90s built up their ensemble casts, from the Ninja Turtles to the to your Mighty Ducks. Even there was a show called Mighty Ducks with anthropomorphized ducks, and they were ensemble cast. You had also the Gargoyles, who met King Arthur no less in Gargoyles. And truth be told, that's my favorite interpretation of King Arthur in Gargoyles. I like that King Arthur. He's pretty nice, especially the exchange between him and Macbeth, also a Shakespearean character who was also a king, who also let me highlight two. You know what? Both of those are leaders too. Both of those guys are great leaders. Even even Macbeth is also a great, noble, wise, and faithful leader. It- He's when it comes to Macbeth, he really checks off my list of the qualities of a great leader. You know, he's spiritually faithful. He serves his country faithfully. He serves his wife faithfully, and he serves his son faithfully. He also has a grandiose about him that everybody is willing to go to war alongside with. His I believe his brother was with him, and he's willing to go against. Oh, I forget who they were against in Scotland. Pretty sure any of you Gargoyles fans can help me with that. But they went to war with their neighbors basically. But yeah, Macbeth has a grandiose too. When you hear how Macbeth talks, that's a leader talking. Even if now he is a world traveling immortal and more of a thuggish character nowadays. The way how he talks has that leader speaking out of him. He's got that baritone voice, that deep baritone Scottish voice. He's got that prowess. He's got that knowledge of combat and the times. But he also is willing to have people follow behind him, and they don't betray him. The people who work with him don't betray him. Those two thugs that went with him don't betray him. There's a there's a there's a there's a quality about Macbeth that you just have to admire, especially when you hear his sorrows. You hear how the hardship he went through in his voice. There's also a sense of vulnerability as well among the two, where he's willing to share his past experiences. We'll get to him too, Land Plus Size. We're definitely gonna get to him. He's my top favorite among the ensemble cast. Um, you really gotta love Macbeth and Gargoyles. Oh, we're talking about, man. You got, I done got you guys started now. Oh, this is gonna be good. And then there's King Arthur. King Arthur when they reawaken him from his sleep state. He's known as the Sleeping King in Gargoyles. He's been under, you could almost say he was in cryostasis for several years when they went to Avalon. And there's like this, like, he's just, he's just badass. Like when I saw him combat the Archmage, man, I was like, get him, Arthur, get him, kick his behind, man. I was there. I was a kid, man. I was like that's King Arthur, man. That's King Arthur. You don't mess with King Arthur, especially when he retrieved Excalibur from that dragon, and he shatters that dragon. Like, oh man, King Arthur just slayed a dragon. And then there's that respect that Macbeth gives him to King Arthur himself. And he has his line. I'm going to paraphrase his line, by the way. I'm going to paraphrase his line. I've been king too long, but in my days, I have traveled. So if you ever need me, I will answer. Thank you, my friend. And they get a handshake. It's like he's like, bro, that's humility. That's another quality I forgot to mention in the beginning of the string. Humility. A leader has to have humility as well. So there's that humility and Macbeth too that gives to Arthur, especially that episode. He's trying to be a king again, which I don't know. That was kind of a weak motivation for him. In my opinion, that was a weak motivation for that episode. Him trying to be a king, or at least, I mean, I get he's trying to wield one of the most powerful weapons on the planet, but trying to be a king again, like, king's a little bit overrated nowadays, man. I mean, there's still kings around in, I say, Sweden, United Kingdom. You know, I think there's still a king in France, right? Y'all can correct me in the comments. Pretty sure there's some forms of kingship in other countries. But like, where is he? Like, even if he does become a king again, where is he going to be king at? You know, when you put in that plan into more thought. But it's one thing I love about Gargoyles though. One thing I do love about Gargoyles is that even if you think that it's a bad episode, there's some meat in that bad episode, or at least if it's not that, or at least if you think if it's not a well written episode, there's some meat to it. Still, like the character writing is what I'm talking about. It's the meat in these episodes, the character writing. While we're still talking about Gargoyles, let's go with a little bit of villain leaders like Xanatos or Demona. Demona was a leader too. The problem with Demona, however, was the fact that she led her clan to ruin when she betrayed Macbeth. When she put her trust into Duncan, and Duncan had her clan slaughtered. Where we know that she's her own worst enemy. Let's put it like that. She's her own worst enemy. Compared to Xanatos, who, one thing we all love about Xanatos is that there is some humanity in him, despite what we know about him, how he treats Fox, how he treats Owen. I had them. That's funny how the guy's named Owen. We have a wingman named Owen Lister in the UN Spacey squadron. Sorry, I gotta point that out. But Owen, the way how he treats Owen is very interesting too, because you can almost say that they're friends, but they're more work friends. That's best. That's one thing that's best described to the relationship between Owen and Xanatos is that they're work friends. Consider what we know about Owen now and later on. We all know that he's Puck, one of the children of Oberon. That's another one I need to highlight too. Oberon. Now, before I go into Oberon, let's go with Xantos real quick. I like Xantos as a leader, or a leader of his own company. You could almost say he's like the multi-billionaire playboy that Bruce Wayne aspires to be. I don't th- I don't think anybody would ever dream of quitting Xantos's corporations, regardless of the I'm blanking on that word. I usually know these words. Regardless of the so this is why I need a guest with me, or at least a wingman with me to bounce words off of. The ethics of what the company does, or what or his ethics are put into practice. You know, the mutates, the weaponized androids that he built, the Steel Clan, I mean, or even Coyote. There's no sense of him ever slowing down, and there's no sense of him worrying about money, unlike Lex Luthor or say the Joker. Heck, I don't think Bruce Wayne ever had to worry about losing money in the DCAU universe. But Xantos always have a one step ahead plan to always make sure he's still making money. He's a businessman through and through, but he also commands a lot of corporations. It's like that line he gives to Lisa Maza, where she questions his home was attacked by so-called terrorists. It's like you, it's like you, like I forgot the line. I just watched a clip of it too yesterday, but he says detective, I'm a multi-billionaire running many corporations that are the size of the size of countries. You know, uh, I'm blanking out now. Let me move on to Overrun. That's all I'm gonna say about Xantos for now. But let's go into Oberon. Oberon is what you would like to think of a tyrannical leader. And you know what? Since we're talking about leadership, let's go into tyrannical leaders a bit, shall we? Yeah, yep. All right, Brian. That's yep. Yeah, let's go into tyrannical leaders now. The opposite of the qualities of what makes a good leader, or at least a compassionate leader, like say Arthur or Captain America and many others like that take from the Arthurian legend, so to speak. Let's go with Oberon, who is a tyrannical leader. He is by far one of the most well respected, in my humble opinion. Is one of my He makes my list of well respected tyrannical leaders. Like I don't like him because he's a tyrannical leader, but I respect his power and grandeur. He has a very grandiose aura about him. People bend to his command, and he's basically a god of the faithful. So anything he says goes, at least until his wife defies him. Chooses to. I gotta give. Here's the one thing I gotta give to Tanya too. She's the way I'm surprised the man hasn't divorced that woman. Cause consider all that she's done while he was away. Man, they have a complicated relationship, him and Titania. I mean, basically the whole him versus Xantos thing started with Titania. Oh boy, that was hilarious. That was hilarious how that turned out. we're definitely gonna talk about those guys. Yeah, let's continue with Oberon though. I gotta give Oberon props though. Like he's got that grandiose about him, especially when the Banshee and I believe Odin was about to clash in the gathering, and he says silence and be still, and they stop dead on their tracks. Like Odin, the Odin I'm talking about, the Odin who was able to get his eye back, the eye of Odin that turns people into very powerful versions of themselves. In the case of Fox, she becomes this werefox, or in the case of Goliath, he becomes this Norse god-ish gargoyle. But it amplifies your arrogance and your worldly desires. It magnifies that when the transformation happens. But he gets his eye back and he comes back to visit to because he's summoned because apparently in the world of gargoyles, even of different folklore like Anubis and I see the spider from African folklore, they're all children of Oberon, and they all gather there. Like almost every creature or spiritual being that the gargoyles or any characters of the gargoyles have met thus far are all children of Oberon, including Anubis, which was an interesting world building there. But again, nobody oversteps themselves when Oberon speaks, and even then, like Titania even Titania is willing to listen to her husband when the time comes, or at least until he leaves. Oh boy! Again, the things that she did while he was away. But she was able to turn it all around when she remarried him, and he saw the fruits of the union. So that was again funny how that turned out. I'm dancing around. I'm dancing around it so I don't spoil anything from anybody for anybody who hasn't seen Gargoyles yet. That's why I'm dancing around it so much. But like I said, for the brief episodes that he's been in, and the many times that he has shown up, especially in Avalon, when Avalon brought Goliath and his daughter and Elisa and Bronze back, they met Oberon, and even then, like we all know his weakness is iron, which is the weakness to the Fae folk. But he has such a power to him, even with that weakness against him. He's still able to soldier on, even once he fought Xanatos, face to face. There's no stopping that guy. And again, like the power he commands, he's able to make a city sleep just by saying sleep. Do anybody remember that? Sleep, sleep. Everybody that was human went to sleep. And even then, like he has the power to erase their memories once they wake up. So I gotta give respect to Oberon there. And even then, like Oberon when he sees something that's like an ant to him, he has such a very low opinion of him, to a point where he talks in such a bored manner. Like even if you try to step up to him, he just looks at you like I can erase you with a flick of a hand if I want. And even those who know Oberon will try to warn you. You do not want to anger Oberon. This is one fight you cannot hope to win. Do not anger Oberon, unless you're his wife. I keep going back to Titania because, like I said, Titania, for lack of a better term, she got balls doing what she did. You know who I forgot to mention yesterday, Tuesday, about motherhood and fatherhood. You know who was one kick ass mother? Sorry to swear, guys. Was Fox when she protected her son Alexander from Oberon himself, when her Atlantic magical abilities awakened at that very moment to protect her son. So I'm gonna give a brief honorable mention there for fictional mothers. How could you guys forget Fox? I was asking every one of you guys to bring up a mother, and y'all forgot Fox that day. Demerit. No, I'm kidding. You didn't do your homework. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, guys. But so let's take a break to look at your comments real quick. We're at the 50 mark. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna start from the top. Now we're here. Started from the top. Now the whole team here. Started from the top. Now we're here. Started from the top. Now the whole team here. Started from the top. Now I'm here. Brian Gilmore eating some dinner, or was eating some dinner. Strong moral compass, definitely. Sorry, I highlighted. There we go. Strong moral compass make a great leader too. Yep. That's one thing. Here's the thing about having a moral compass. Period. That applies to anybody who's not a leader, and that applies to anybody who is a leader. But that's the reason why people will follow you, is because your morals are consistent. If you maintain your consistency, people will follow you. People are willing to follow somebody who has a set. That's why I preach standards on Tuesday. That's why I preach standards every time. There's nothing wrong with having standards. A lot of people out here are trying to say that having standards is a bad thing. When you have morals and standards, people tend to follow you, whether it scares them, whether they're hesitant to follow you because they don't think they meet your standards. No, the reason why they tend to get like that is because they believe that it might hurt them if they try to fail at meeting your standards. There's nothing wrong with failing to meet somebody's standards. There's something wrong with you if you don't try to meet the standards. So having a moral compass, yes, that is a good leadership quality, and that's the reason why people will follow you as a leader. So I'm hoping you guys are leaders in your own right. Even if you don't work at a billionaire company, even if you're not owning your own business, you lead. You lead by example, so to speak. You lead by example. So if you have a strong moral compass, Brian, keep that strong moral compass. Don't let anybody ever tell you you're wrong to have a strong moral compass. And it's okay if anybody tries to challenge your moral compass, because that's going to make your moral compass stronger. You know what I'm saying? He is one of my favorites, Brian Gilmore. That's why no matter what Red Ranger comes in, there will always be Jason. Jason will be the top. Jason will always be the original Red Ranger for me. Let's scroll down because most of these guys are just conversations. I can recommend some that would probably appeal to you. Maybe you have seen some of them, and they probably didn't tick you like the original did. But my favorite was always In Space. Okay, we didn't really say much about Luke yet, have we? Luke to me right there. He commanded his own squad in New Hope, and he still continued to command his squad in Empire Strikes Back, which is why the direction that the sequel trilogy went was so stupid. Because number one, they didn't do anything with continuity in that regard. They talk him. The problem with the sequel trilogy, they talk him up to be a legend, but then Rian Johnson had to tarnish that legendary status by making him a hobo on a planet on an island. I saw where he was going for, but that was not the approach that he should have went with Luke. Luke should have been commanding Rogue Squadron in the sequel trilogy. That characterization should have went with a new character, say a Jedi that did survive Order 66 and was willing to let's just say if I was writing the Last Jedi and Rey got to that planet, but instead of finding Luke, she found another Jedi, and a Jedi that was bitter at the fact that he wasn't able to stop the Emperor when the Emperor execute Order 66. He did. Let's just say he did find Luke, but Luke was already he's already helping. I'm not gonna call them the Resistance. I'm calling them the Rebels. That was also a stupid thing that JJ did, rebranding the Rebels into the Resistance. That should have been, to me, the Resistance should have been Finn's group, that he establishes in the sequel trilogy. I would have made Finn lead the Resistance and not the Rebels. The Rebels would have been their own faction, and the Resistance would have been a secondary faction that's taking on the First Order with the assistance of the Rebel Alliance. Kind of like what the way how the Rebel Alliance was kind of fractured, like Saul Guerrera's group, and you have Candaris's group. Candaris, I mean Kazdian, I think his name was Kazian's group. That's what I would have done if I was Hellman writing for the sequel trilogy per Kathleen Kennedy's orders. She wouldn't even. She would still got her strong female lead, but I'm going to do it on my own terms. Going back to what I was saying about the Knights of the Round Table, you had the X-Men and you had the Lancelot, which is Wolverine. You had the Gawain, which is, I would say, would be Beast. I think Gawain would have been Beast, maybe. Um, I think Tristan would have been Nightcrawler, and of course Lancelot, like I said, would have been Wolverine. Arthur would be Cyclops. Guinevere would have been Jean. I don't know what that would have made Rogue though. Let's go with Aragon from Leia Plus Size. Aragon is definitely a great leader, especially with him being a ranger. He leads the Fellowship. Gimli, Legolas, a human leading two mythical creatures, basically, or mythical sentient races that really don't have man. They don't hold man to a high regard. Dwarves don't like men. Elves don't like men, but they're unified through the Fellowship. They work with each other to achieve a goal. Especially the original goal would be to destroy the ring of power, but they switched goals midway in the story to go save Merry and Pippin. It's kind of weird how their goals keep switching in that story. Because one moment they have to go and rescue Merry and Pippin, but they get rescued already. So then they go to Rohan. They go to Rohan per Gandalf's orders, Gandalf the White, and they go help assist Rohan in the fight of Helm's Deep. And then they go to Minas Tirith, Gondor, and they participate in that battle. So you can almost say that fate was at work there. Fate was leading them to where they need to go, and Aragorn was leading that charge as fate would have it. Especially him taking up the mantle of king of Gondor, and that's where he like in a way you could say he's going through his own hero's journey in that story. I think the professor pointed that out one time when we talk about Aragorn. He has his own hero's journey, and he's carried through with his companions Legolas and Gimli, along with the hobbits later on when they reach Gondor, along with even Eowyn and Go and Aelmir. So this is why we men need leaders like this. I have to sidetrack on this one to address the men and men that are going to watch this on the back watch. We need leaders, male leaders, to guide us, or at least to inspire us to take our not necessarily take, but to basically muster up the courage within ourselves to do the things that we do to achieve the goals that we set for ourselves in life. Of course, that needs to be set up by having a father in their lives, or at least a male role model or a father figure in their lives. Heck, it could be a fictional character anyways. I'm going to highlight two of Gil Martin's. One will be humility. Yep, humility is a good quality. Again, back to what I was saying, the layup plus size, I believe that said that, or at least you again. Humility doesn't necessarily have to be centered around a leader. It can humility comes amongst people, period, man and woman. Humility has it's basically a humanity trait from all of mankind. You gotta have that humility sometimes, because without what that replace is arrogance, and arrogance can get you there so far, but humility builds bridges more than arrogance do. And I'm an arrogant person too. I'm gonna tell you guys that right now. I'm a very arrogant person. I can be boisterous all I want, but there are times I show humility. You can almost say that even though I idolize Captain America, I'm more of a Thor person with my arrogance. But my humility comes in when I let somebody help me with something, or when I have somebody assist me or accompany me, or even then, like if somebody like basically when people offer help, I receive it. And you guys got two tyrannical leaders that I would like to talk about again with Brian Gil Martin. I kind of like Ralph from Fist of the North Star as a villainous leader, since he was cold and ruthless, but also could be capable of mercy as well. Kind of makes him more unpredictable that way. But that's the thing that's a trait that a lot of people like in villains. Period. And it's what Brian Gil Martin's describing also describes the governor, but I'm only talking about the TV governor. I don't really like the comic book governor that much. Comic book governor, yeah, I like TV governor better. Tim, as he's called in the show. But yeah, they're both ruthless, but they also have a sort of humanity to them. They all run a tight ship too. And I have to go back to Brian with Brow. Do we even call him a leader? Can we even call him a leader per se? Because he's okay with expend making his troops expendable, especially when Kinstrel's around, or even when he goes against very powerful opponents where he can basically nuclear them with his Hokuto Shinken. You know, I like to call him a leader, but I question whether or not can we even call him a leader because again, what troops do he command after he goes into battle? After a while, one person I could say that I can consider a leader is Seiji from the new Fist of the North Star OVA. Seiji and his father before him, Sanji or Sango, Suedo, I think his name was. They're tyrannical leaders too. You can even they're more akin to Immortan Joe from Mad Max Fury Road, whereas Immortan Joe rations the water, the precious water that he has in store in his fortress to the people, much like Seiji's father. I'm not gonna try to find his name properly. I'm just gonna call him Seiji's father. Just like Seiji's father does it when he does his little coat thing when it comes to giving water away to the people. And they tend to share Rao and his ruthlessness, but they're no match for Rao and his ruthlessness. Rao is just Rao. There I mentioned there's also a dark side, and as Leia also mentioned in her comment, Thanos. Thanos, we're talking about movie Thanos or comic book Thanos. Are we Leia plus size? Because I know movie Thanos commands legions, but I don't think comic Thanos commands legions. He does command the Black Order, yes. But does he command an army? That's the question in the comics. Because he has the Black Order in the movies, and he does have the Chitauri and the Hounds, or at least the out. Are they called the Outriders or the Outlanders? Those four armed things that they're fighting in Infinity War. What are they called? You guys tell me in the comments. Um, of that we know, but like the way how he rules, or at least he leads his people in the MCU. I wouldn't say he leads them with an iron fist. He leads them with a promise that he delivers on, or at least he's given to those who are successful in their campaign. That's why Gamora is where she is by his side. He trained her. Okay, confirmation from Leia Plus as we're talking about MCU, and now that's what I'm talking about now. MCU Thanos. That's why Gamora and Nebula are where they are next to him because they meet his standards to some extent. Gamora, best of all. That's why he calls her his favorite daughter. He rules his people like a family ish type of deal, which a lot of people say is kind of creepy or kind of head turner. But it's kind of an interesting way how he runs the ship, so to speak. So like he calls the daughters of Thanos, and by daughters, it seems like there was more than two daughters back then, and apparently they all killed each other. Another tyrannical leader I like to point out is I'm blanking on his name now. Quinn from Into the Badlands. If you guys haven't seen Into the Badlands, you need to check that show out. That show is good. I will watch that any day over The Walking Dead. And it's sad that The Walking Dead has way more seasons than Into the Badlands. Into the Badlands needs some more seasons. It's already on season 3, 4, I believe. Into the Badlands is a good series, really good series. Because in Into the Badlands, you have tyrannical rulers called the Barons, and my top favorite next, I put him above Minerva, the Baroness. She's second. She's second. She's a close second. But my top favorite Baron is Baron Quinn. That dude. That dude has the makings of an interesting villain and a deliciously evil villain. But he's also a great tyrannical ruler. The way how he schools the boys into being his clippers, the way how he talks to the women in his life, his wife and his second wife, or especially the relationship between him and his original wife, because a baron can take on multiple wives of his choosing, and sire as many children as they like. That's how the barons work in the into the Badlands. But there's a charm about Quinn that I really like. And again, when I first watched him in the first season, the way how he talks in the they have him in this so-called church, and he comes off as like a dark preacher to these kids because they're child soldiers when they grow. They're child soldiers early in life when they become clippers. And if you guys don't know what the clippers are, they're like these soldiers like slash assassins. They get a mark, a tattoo mark for every kill that they make or that they're ordered to do. And if you get a set number of marks, I do believe you can be Baron or you can get your freedom from being a Clipper. I'm not. It's been a while. I gotta rewatch that, but I believe that's how that goes. And again, the way how he teach these kids is it's almost like a dark preacher. You know, that's what I love about Quinn. So if anything, guys, check out Into the Badlands. You will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. It's on Netflix, or you can find it anywhere else. If you don't like Netflix, considering the controversy behind a certain movie. But I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for a new season for Into the Badlands, and I've been waiting patiently. Of that, I don't really know much because I was a kid at the time, and I hardly ever watched wrestling aside from SmackDown every Monday or was it Tuesday? Yeah, every Tuesday. So I don't know. I don't know how far did Triple H led Evolution, but I would say he's a good leader too, especially when he took over the mantle of president, I believe, from Vince McMahon. I mean, people are still watching wrestling. I stopped watching wrestling after a certain age, but people are still watching wrestling. I hear people many times talk about wrestling, so they're doing something right there. Let me see if I call up to any of your comments. Land plus size highlighting Aragorn's traits: humility, faith, bravery. For the rest of the fellowship to follow him. Yes, that's definitely what Aragorn has. Even though when we first met him, he was like a cynical type person, but he believed in something through and through. He believed in something. And again, with Leia plus size, fact, after meeting Captain America, Thor said he would fall into any battle with him as leader. That's humility from Thor. That's why, yeah, that's the humility from Thor. Because even then, Thor would probably looked at Captain America. Even though Captain America has super soldier serum, he wouldn't he still would look like an ant towards Thor if Thor was still arrogant. But for him to say that to Captain America speaks volumes about Thor himself. And you can say Thor's a leader too in his own right, especially if you factor in the Warriors 3 and Lady Sif. They follow him to battle too. He's this is what this discussion is about in the stream. Everybody is a leader. It's what you're willing to do to lead your life. I'm talking about a lead in your life. Lead your life. Don't let life lead you. You lead your life by the way how you live, the way how you set your principles, your standards, the way how you eat, the way how you sleep, lead your life. Because if you're leading your life through, as many have pointed out, hedonistic with hedonism with reckless abandon, you're basically leading your life to death in a way. You know. So I always encourage others, many among me, be a leader, not a follower. I would say my parents see that in me. It's like they always tell me like we mostly see you lead mostly. You never follow anybody. You're always taking a lead on something, and people are following you. Actually, you know, it's because I follow principles. I would have to Edgar. I wonder where Edgar from Final Fantasy VI falls in this. He's not only a king, but he seems to act as a field leader for the player party, directing them where to go and laying out objectives. Hmm. You have to give me the description of him because I only played, I would say 20% of Final Fantasy VI. So I would probably need some clarification there. Then I can make my assessment for that one. Come on, guys, give me some more leaders. Give me some more leader names. So even from old school shows, like say Gomez from the Ass Family. Now, that's one person I should have brought up in the last stream. Gomez runs his shit really good, and everybody listens to him. And no matter where he goes, his family follows him. But the family has a mind of their own. The Adams family unit has a mind of their own too. That's not to say that they follow him blindly into everything, but he's a good leader himself too. He's a leader in financial. Which Voltron, Brian? You gotta be specific. You gotta be specific. There's Voltron, the original. There's Voltron Force from the Nickelodeon, and then there's Voltron, the Legendary Defender. I don't count Third Dimension because Third Dimension is a pseudo continuation from the original. Leia from Lucas. Shoot. Leia from Lucas Star Wars was a leader in all three films. I mean, wow, standing up to Vader in the first Star Wars. Yeah, yep. Leia is Princess Leia. Even though she's a princess, she's a leader. She is a leader. She may be royalty, but royalty has his own chain of command as well. But she's a princess. Anything she says goes, and she runs her ship. She runs her ship like that line she gives to that one guy that's on the computer. She says, order all positions to get off the plane and evacuate and get to your transport. There's that compassion. She's a compassionate leader too. She's a very compassionate leader. When she says get to your transport, she means get your like she wants you to get out alive as well. That's what I loved about that's a small moment of Leia that I liked in Empire Strikes Back when they're leaving that base. She says, "Get to your transport." She's telling you, you do your job, and then you get out of here and you survive. She wants she wants just about everybody in her group to survive. So that's one thing I loved about Leia. Even if she got separated from the Rebel Alliance and was with Han for the majority of the film, she was still a leader, and Han kept her alive. That's another thing I liked about Han himself. Han kept her alive throughout that whole movie, and it's more than about love. It's about that humanity in him as well. He wants to keep everybody alive. Luke, Leia, Chewie. Debatable with 3PO, R2, even Lando. Lando is a leader himself too. Let's go with Lando as well. Lando is a leader himself. He leads Cloud City. He owns Cloud City, but he used to be like Han, an unsavory type, but he turned his ways around. He's living the good life. He runs a city with compassion, charisma. There's a grandiose about him too, and we just met him in Empire Strikes Back. We just met him, but everything about his demeanor, his personality tells us a lot about him. That's one thing you gotta appreciate writers back then in movies, especially classical movies. You can tell what character is a leader just by the way how their actions and demeanor, you know, is a good quality about them that you see. And here's one thing I gotta give. I have to stress, and a lot of professional writers stress this too from any memes. Show, don't tell in your writing, especially when you're writing leaders. Show, do not tell us. Do not tell us that him and Han are best friends. Show that they're best friends. Especially that line that he gives them. Hey, you pirates! How's the Falcon doing? Hey, hey, I won that. Hey, I won that car fair and square. You cheated. See, that's that line of dialogue is showing us, not telling us, in a way. In a way, there's a bit of a history there. Well, they're telling us the history, but the way how they're conveying their friendship through motions and actions is showing us their friendship. Even when Lando betrays him. And here's the thing: I don't know where Robot Chicken got off on this tangent about people hating on Lando for being a traitor. Because I never saw that. Even as a kid, when I saw him betray Han like that, especially when he explained why he did what he did, he's protecting his people. Which is again, you don't have to agree with it. You just have to understand it. Like you can hate him for betraying him, but you can't understand why he did what he did. You don't have to agree with it. I'm sure Han didn't agree with it when he punched him in the face. So Brian Gilmore is talking about Keith from the '80s Voltron. Keith is a. This is gonna be. It's probably gonna be difficult for me to explain Keith from '80s Voltron because he was not meant. No, that's legendary defender Voltron Keith. I'm sorry that I'm my Keith's mixed up. Original Keith, wish they would have told that to Holdo. Really wish they would have told that to Holdo. I wish I was in that writing room with Ryan Johnson. If I read what he was writing, Holdo, I'm like, you know what would make her a better character, Ryan? Make her do stuff instead of just standing around. I'm gonna get into I'm gonna get into later about why modern writers screw up leadership or confuse leadership with power. Because leadership is not about power. That's a villain's thought. That's a villain's thought process when it comes to leadership. Leadership is not power. It is more than just a position. It's not even taken. It's earned. Those who take it are weak people. If you have to take something from somebody, that's weakness. That means you're too weak to earn anything for yourself. So you have to take and take and take. That's taking is a weakness among men. And when I say, you know what, let me rephrase that. Among mankind, both man and woman. If you have to take something from somebody, that makes you a weak person. You didn't earn it. I'm sure Hodo didn't even earn that position. If you want to put that into context, especially the way how she acts, that is not a leader that earned her position. That's a leader that probably took her position. Let's go into that comment. And plus, it's a Brian Gil Martin. Yes, Brian, that who I wanted to be because she was strong but not a bully when she says, get to your transport. You're right. She wants you to live. Good point about being a leader. It's not about being strong. The writers today do not understand that. Like there's strength to it, but it's strength in how you lead. Strength is built upon how you lead. You a leader has strength when they have troops to lead. You know what I'm saying? And how long the leader stays with them is the strength the leader commands. That's why Tywin is Tywin Lannister. If we're gonna put him into tyrannical leaders, that's why he is the way he is. There's some compassion in Tywin, to say the least, because he has troops under his command, and the way how he runs his ship, he's more of a you don't have to like me, but I'll make sure you're well compensated for your duties. You do your duties right. All you need to do is do what I do what I say when I say it, and you do it specifically how I say it. That's how Tywin runs his ship. He doesn't run it with an iron fist, mind you. He doesn't even run it with exerting his power. He runs it through a sort of twisted form of charity and and integrity. He has an integrity to uphold the family name. His family name needs to command respect, and he's gonna get it. He's gonna earn it through making sure debts are settled, debts are being paid. He's gonna make sure that anybody who did him a favor he's gonna return a favor, and vice versa. He runs it through charity and a twisted form of charity and integrity. That's why he's such a great leader, even though the way how he raises children is questionable. That's why he's one of my favorite villains in Game of Thrones. Because I I don't have to like his ethics, but I do respect I do respect his decisions that or at least his reasons that he arrives on those decisions that he makes and those code of ethics. I also like how practical he is. He's a very practical leader and pragmatic leader at best. He's very like he's willing to go in the grind and do some things that'll make people think that he's very slithery as a snake, but he don't care what they have to say about him because they know if they have to say it to his face, they're either going to lose a tongue or they're going to lose their lives over it. And it ain't going to be him that's going to do it. It's going to pay somebody else to do it for him. And here's another thing about Tywin. If it's little, if it's a little thing that he has to settle with, it's going to be paid to get it dirty. But if it's something big, he's going to do it himself. He ain't. Here's one thing I like about another thing I like about Tywin. He ain't afraid to get his hands dirty, but only if it really needs his attention. But if it ain't worth his attention that much, he's gonna send somebody else to do it. You know, or if it's really that important, and if he has to send somebody else, it's only because he knows he's not gonna get there in time enough to do it himself. So make of that what you will about Tywin Lannister as a tyrannical ruler. I mean, he's a tyrannical ruler, but he's not a dictator, for that matter. And he does care about the people, but above all else, he cares about the family name. Again, make of that what you will. That's why he's called the king that never sat on the throne when he worked next to King Ares the Third. I think he was called or Mad King Ares. I know it's because I read up on some Game of Thrones lore, but currently I'm reading Fire Fire and Blood, which talks about the Targaryens. Now, here's another Game of Thrones character that I actually respect too. Aegon the Conqueror, or Aegon first of his name, or Aegon the Dragon. I play before I continue on with Aegon. I play Sacred Stones. Okay, so from what I remember when I played, I know who you're talking about. From what I've gathered from Fire Emblem series, especially with Sacred Stones, where Erica and Ephraim fall in, I would say they're virtuous, daring. I believe Ephraim has some humility into him, and Erica has a bit of courage into her too. And those are some good qualities in leaders. They're the leaders that are like the you can almost say that they're Arthurian in their leadership. They're very Arthurian. So I will put them at Arthurian levels, Brian. But Aegon the Conqueror, I read about Aegon the Conqueror in Fire and Blood, and man, oh man, he earns his title as Aegon the Conqueror. The way how he went about uniting Westeros, the way how he set up the table, the council. I mean, how how everything was built up. He was a self-made man, even though he came from nothing. Once Valeria failed, that's a self-made ruler. I gotta give him that right there. He's a self, and nobody ever challenged him on marrying his sisters and taking his sisters to bride. Even if they did, who's gonna step in front of him and say that in front of his face? That's one thing I gotta give tyrannical rulers that it's like they're the types that like even if you disagree with them, are you really gonna say that to their face? Are you really that bold? Go ahead, try it. And if you survive, I'm going to give you the utmost respect. But like I said, in many cases, I'm like, are you really going to say that in front of their faces? Given what you know about these people, anybody question him, they either going to get a sword through the heart, or they're going to be fed to Baelor the Black, Balon the Black. I'm sorry, the Black Dread. Or at least if they ever try to challenge Magor, they'll be fed to Baelor. I'm saying the name wrong. The Black Dread. They're gonna be fed to the Black Dread. Let's go with that. Y'all give me some more people to discuss. Let's get back to Keith because I didn't answer that one. Keith is a courageous leader. Keith stood to the plate when the Castle of Lions was being attacked by the Road Beasts. They just got their freedom, but they got back into the action. They were ready to get some action in and get to the fight. Both him, Lance, Hunt, Pitch, even Sven got into the Lions, even though they were able to find the key to the Black Lion because they needed all lions to fight. They're still going to fight anyways. So he led by action, led by example, and everybody followed him. So Keith is a good leader, especially the moment they acquired the key to get him in the Black Lion, and they even allowed Allura to replace Sven once he was healed up, and she stayed along with him too, even after Sven survived. Or did he die in the original translation of Voltron? Because I know in the Americanized version he got wounded by Hagar, but he didn't die. But my child senses told me that he died in that series. I'm not sure. Any of you guys can clarify that for me. But anyways, the Voltron Force under Keith's command, led successful campaigns. Heck, since we're talking about anime leaders, let's go with Rick Hunter from Robotech. His original commanding officer was his brother Faulkner. Remember that? He died in the campaign against the Zentradi when they finally got the space dimensional fortress off the ground. I'd say that slow because my brain is moving faster than my mouth. Oh, okay. Yes, Finn survives in Voltron. His goal line counterpart Shirogane died. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. They manipulated scenes to make it seem like Savin lives. But yeah, they weren't fooling little Wolfie here. They were not fooling little Wolfie like at all. Like I knew that dude. I knew that dude died because usually in anime, when blood trails over the forehead, that means death. That usually means death, or blood from the mouth. That usually means death. You know what? I got to really geek out on Voltron real quick. I love how Pidge protected Allura when he had the grenade in his hand, and he was ready to take on Hagar and Lotor at the same time with the grenade in his hand, and they didn't budge not one thing. We all know Hagar has the magic, right? But even she wasn't going to take on Pidge with a grenade. Now that's I gotta give Pidge that like that's leadership quality or bravery quality. That's bravery points there given to Pidge. Now I can't never forget the lines that he gave to Lord Thor and Hagar when he had that grenade in his hand. He was ready. He was ready to kamikaze them, so to speak. He was all ready for it. He was all for it. He's ready to kamikaze that. There's some good moments in Voltron that a lot of kids can aspire to and be inspired by. But he was like, "You want to go, Lothar? You want a Lord so bad, you gotta get through me. What about you, Hagar? You witch? You ready? Wah! He ran at them with the grenade. I was like, "Oh, Pitch, get him, Pitch, get him, yeah!" And this is me who watch these shows, and every show that has an ensemble cast, I always look at them. I never see anybody as useless or forgetful, like most of these out of touch reviewers be. A lot of out of touch. Whenever time I happen upon a reviewer that reviews old school shows, they always try to treat these other characters like they were nothing, and they try to uplift the leaders a bit or something like that. They try to write the leaders off as generic and forgettable. Like we all see, like no, there's a reason why they're written the way they are because it was transcended from ancient Arthurian lore and other texts like the Bible and the Epic of Gilgamesh. That's why the leaders are written the way they are. That's why these reviewers and these writers don't understand that they're written the way they are because of the text that preceded years before, centuries before. I'm even from Arthur to Gilgamesh to even Jesus. Even Jesus, you can say there's no debate. Jesus is a leader. He led people towards the promised land. You know. So whenever time I hear when people write off leaders like that, I'm like, y'all need to show some respect. Put some respect in their names. Just because you sit around and click on a keyboard all day writing a review, it seems like you need to lead your life more. You ain't got no life to lead. So you want to shame others for leading their own lives. And that's another thing about weakness. Weakness is driven by shame towards others, or at least that shame is built up from jealousy towards others. The jealousy falls, and that's where the shame comes in. That you see somebody leading their life way better than your life is, so you feel like it's your right to judge them, and you can't seem to get your life together. So instead of saying, "Oh, this so and so is leading a healthy life. They got a job. They have a wonderful wife. Why can't I just do that for myself instead? Oh, I need to take that from him because I feel like I should be vindicated or satiated through my because I can't seem to manage my own life. So I need to take it from somebody else and mess up their life. Pretty much, Leia plus size. Pretty much. This is well, it's more than just SJW and social media. It's basically those who do the crimes and not and get mad when they do the time. This is basically this spreads all across humanity over the centuries. All over the centuries. That's what I'm saying. It's because people don't grasp. Here's the thing, Brian. When you say that, they don't grasp that archetype. People and they don't understand why that archetype works. It works. It works for little boys and it also works for little girls. I'll tell you why it works for little boys. It works for little boys because it pushes them to be successful in their lives. It works for little girls because that's the image of the man they want in their lives. Because a man, a well-rounded woman, like I said in the fatherhood motherhood stream, a well-rounded woman wants stability in their life, and they will find a man that will bring them stability as well. If they have a stable life, they want a man who subsidize that stability. And I don't mean to backtrack on streams like that, but that's why I'm doing these streams right now because this needs to be said. If not just by the professor or Netter or even Troy or say Fanman or anybody else, this needs to be said by many of us. Many of us needs to be saying this, and that's why I'm doing that myself because this needs to be said. And I may not have the answer to everything. I may not have the greatest advice above all else, but I try. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try. Not trying will be the greatest sin. Even if yours says, there is no try, there's a do or do not. There's try. It reminds them of their own failures, yes, Brian Gilmartin, but that's only because they're so stuck on reflecting on their failures more than trying to get themselves better instead of reflecting on the mistakes and trying not to do them again. That's basically that. It's really the jealousy is rooted in envy. Why can't I get a life like that? Well, why don't you work hard to do it? That's your problem. You're still standing there doing nothing. But yeah, those are followers, anyways. Those who hate generic, quote unquote, generic heroes or aspirational characters tend to be the most followers, anyways, because you see it. You see how they write. They write just exactly alike. So they're gonna follow the next person who pretends like they relate to their plights and their faults. One of these days, I'm gonna try to screen share to share some stuff like that. You know, you know when I get around to screen sharing, we can look at some pictures while we're at it. I could try it out right now. Let me do that. You know what? Let me do that. Let me try that out right now. I'm gonna try a screen share real quick. I'm gonna try to screen share my favorite '90s leaders. Look at your comment real quick, Brian. It's like Leah and Brian are the ones taking over the stream tonight. They're taking over the comments. People need to get in some comments. Okay. Let's hear what Brian has to say. Anyone can sit on the sidelines and criticize others, but to be a leader who have to either put up or shut up. Yep. One will have to put up or shut up. Yep. Let me see if I can share the screen real quick. Don't want to share anything inappropriate on the screen. Hopefully it won't do that. Okay, here we are. Let me see if anybody can see the screen. Let me see. Seems like it's slowing things down a bit. Okay. Okay, I think I've done it. Let me know if you guys can see it. Let's see. Okay, it's slowing down on my screen. It's slowing my screen down. Oh boy, I'm probably have to close up a few tabs here. I got a lot, far too many. Okay, just popped up on the screen. It's a bit faster now. Close this one too. I can recover these. So I'm testing something to share, guys. I want us to bask in the leaders. Let me see if I'm doing this right. Okay. I want to show the leaders because I want to show designs, especially when you guys want to do comic books and you want to design per se for a leader. Now my Bing's loading up. So I want to show Arthur Pendragon from Gargoyles. This can also help me, struggling writer, on how to describe your leaders. As a matter of fact, here's the thing about you don't have to say that they're leaders. Descriptions can give off that impression. Okay, it's more slow. Okay, I'm spelling Arthur wrong. That usually happens with me whenever time I try to spell Arthur. Arthur Pendragon. Gargoyles. Hope I'm spelling his first name right. Let me check your comments real quick. Likely a plus size is lying here. Let me see if I can show it. Highlight it real quick. I'll just read it. That is also the reason they want to take. Correct. May have to cancel the StreamYard, slowing everything down. All right, let me try again. That's also the reason they want to take inspirational heroes and turn them anti for the reason you said. They want to make the men the sideliners, though. They want them to be the bystanders, and they want the women to take the charge because they're under the impression that women can do just about everything a man can do, which they can, but there's a limit to it. Oh, that's hot. That's hot. I love this. I love this pose. Close a few tabs again, just to speed it up just a bit on my end. I'm pretty sure it's working really well. Your guys' end, but my end is like it's just like moving just a teeny bit slow. I think I close any of these tabs, I probably can speed it up along. Okay, there it is. See, I like this design of Author Pendragon. There's even the blue is kind of like what really the blue is like it gives a good nice silhouette, like an outline around the silhouette, so you can get a good look of the colors and the outline of the colors and stuff. I also like his beard and his hair, which shows his age. But that's a good design for a leader. Even the dragon symbol on his chest. Even the way how they animate him and the colors. And I like '90s color system. Three color rule when it comes to those and the contrast. But that I like about Arthur Pendragon design, especially when he unites Griff. Anybody remember Griff? Yeah, I like that post too. It's got like that Zelda look to it, like classic Zelda from the Super Nintendo, not Super Nintendo, original Nintendo. Even there, there I said now I'm naming Nintendos. Even Ocarina of Time Link pose. It's got that Ocarina of Time Link. Let's go with Cyclops real quick and I'm a little worried if I go to Cyclops because we're gonna get a little bit of SJW Marvel. We might get a little bit SJW Marvel Cyclops, and I'm afraid we might see some cringe. When you guys believe that they made the X-Men plant people now, so they're basically invasion. There better be an invasion of body snatchers conspiracy thing going on with that development because they're trying to turn the X gene into, I guess, Resident Evil. Actually, I'll show you Arthur Pendragon from King Arthur in the Justice, which is King Arthur in the Knights of Justice. See, this is why I say we need to go back to. Well, we need to implement a bit more of '90s style of writing, so to speak, because this is where everybody had power armor, to say the least. And in most of these shows that they had, just about almost everybody had power armor, and the Knights of Justice were no different. Trying to find a picture that will it's taking too long to load. But this Arthur was a leader too. He's got this grandiose about him, especially when they get their armor ready. He's got this grandiose voice about him when he says his name. I am King Arthur. And you hear the Knights of Justice do the creed, and we are the Knights of Justice. Oh, nice. Brian is talking about art. I love when you talk about art, dude. I'll have to check that out. That blonde you speak of. Is she beautiful? Okay. I'm making a dead joke. I have to close more tabs again. Let's see. Probably not gonna. I'm probably not gonna be doing this ever again. This is getting on my nerves. How it's taking so long. Though. At least whenever I do get a chance to do this, I'll probably just have less tabs open. I'm kind of a mess of myself. I'm like compared to Professor Geek. I'm trying to find a picture of Arthur in his armor from the show, not from anybody's art interpretation. Let's go with this shot. Pretty sure this is the screenshot of the show. Who remembers Princess Guinevere and the Jewel Riders? Who's ever heard of it, actually? That's the question. Shoot, they even got Kong the Animated Series highlight. And Box Masters and Ultra Force. Man, I remember all these shows. I've seen just about every '90s cartoon show that they ever concocted. Even the Magician and NASCAR Racers. Anybody remember NASCAR Racers? Or were y'all too old by that point and just brought off cartoons for a while? What about Toon Disney's roster? Cowboys of Moon Mesa. Man, those shows made my childhood. They almost made me the man I am today. But I always like the Power Rangers. So this is King Arthur from the Knights of Justice, and his armor is pretty good. It's got a little gold to it. A lot of gold. That's a lot of gold. It's got a little break in between with the whites and stuff. I'm showing you pictures. I'm gonna stop now. Close the screen yard real quick because it's getting on my nerves. Nope, nope, nope. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of the screen yard now. StreamYard. I mean the screen share. I'm sorry, the screen share. Brian Ramirez Mesa. Oh, Moon Mesa, they're real cowboys. Who wants to hear me sing? uh, I don't think I want to hear me sing. I don't think I have the voice here there yet. Can y'all give me some more leaders that y'all want me to discuss? But where I was getting at with the designs is that you gotta. Here's another thing that I want you guys to keep in mind when y'all want to select a leader to be in your stories, the stories that you write, is that you have to have very you have to keep in mind what makes a good leader. All the things that you guys listed are all the things that we discussed in this stream just now. If y'all writing leaders in y'all stories, or if you guys are trying to write some stories and you want to know what makes this is what you put in what you put in what you believe are the right qualities or the great qualities of what makes a leader: the humility, the faithful, the moral compass, the way how he the way how the person leads the truth. You can even make a flawed leader. You don't necessarily have to make a perfect leader or what is considered to be a perfect leader or what is considered to be a good leader. You can also have a leader that has flaws, but in spite of all those flaws, people will still follow them. Goliath is a good example of a flawed leader. He's got good leadership. He has flaws though. As Kat pointed out in one stream, in Ishi's stream, he can be a dumb muscle at times. He can be very dim-witted because of his raw strength and his lack of knowledge of the new world that the gargoyles live now. But he's a good leader though. He's got some good leadership qualities. And how could I be talking about leadership when I haven't even mentioned Optimus Prime? One shall stand, one shall fall. That 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 is what little boys should aspire to as well. If they want to be a leader, if they want to know what leadership is look at Optimus or even Optimus Primal from Beast Wars. Optimus Primal is a good leader too. He even here's one thing I like about Optimus Primal. He's he berates his comrades to shape up. Like when Rat Trap disobeyed orders, and I gotta give Rat Trap props too because he's willing to do that around Optimus Primal. Oh, you want me to say that, Brian Gilmar? Freedom is the right of all sentient beings. That sounds so good. Let me do that again. Freedom is the right of all sentient beings. But yeah, he's a great leader too. Optimus Prime and his predecessor is it predecessor? Yeah, or let's go with Descendant. Optimus Primal. It's Descendant. Optimus Primal has that leader Granules too. But I gotta give Optimus Primal two things too. He's willing to go down. He's willing to go down on the grind sometimes too to get things done. Heck, he even threatened to kill Megatron on the spot when he became Ultimate Optimus. I was like, bro, whoa. He had the laser sight on him too. He had guns trained on Megatron. Straight up, like man, that was intense. That was an intense scene for primitive technology at the time, for primitive CGI technology at the time. Man, oh man, he was boss in that scene. Like I've never seen Optimus Primal that mad, like that mad to the point where he's going to kill his enemy on the spot. He's giving them a chance to run, but if Megatron don't get out of there, he's going to take him out. It's like get out of here, Megatron. It's my bad Optimus Primal voice. That was a terrible Optimus Primal voice. I can only do Optimus Prime real good. But I like Beast Wars. I wish there was a Blu-ray already made for Beast Wars so I can get that whole series. And I'm willing to get Beast Machines too. I don't think Beast Machines was a terrible show. It had some very questionable decisions, but I would never say Beast Machines was a terrible show, but a lot of people say they hate how Optimus became sort of like this pseudo cleric or preacher. Like he's embracing spirituality more than technology. I'm like, it's an interesting concept that should have been explored, you know. And even then, Cheetor rose up to the occasion too as being a leader. Because like when Optimus was out for the count for a while, Cheetor took up the mantle of leader. He's basically Brooklyn in that regards. And Cheetor was young at the time. Cheetor is basically the Bumblebee of the beast of the Maximals. I mean, we all know that he's the Bumblebee of the Maximals. And for him to take up that mantle, he you can say he grew up. Like when he came about into Beast Machines, he was already like, you could say in robot years he was 20 something or at least 25. Some of y'all are fading out. Am I boring you guys? Let me know. Or is that StreamYard fooling around with my screen again? But yeah, that's enough. Again, he checks all my marks for what makes a good leader: the rise to the occasion, the ability to lead, like basically just communicate. That's another thing a leader should know how to do: communicate effectively towards his or her troops. Y'all name me some more female leaders that y'all like Xena. Xena had control of her raiders. Remember that, right? She had control of her raiders, and she let them. She didn't lead with an iron fist, but she did lead them. She might still be here. She's probably cooking dinner, Brian. I'm pretty sure everybody dipped out just to do some side stuff. This is this is the afternoon after all. Yeah, I knew the risk I was going into doing that around this time. Everybody's got stuff to do, you know. That or they have to restart their own devices to keep going with us. Maybe we'll get some surprise visits from the professor or maybe Mapacelli or Papacelli. Hopefully, if I keep this stream going. My prediction was correct. Heck yeah. Well, now you gotta tell us what's on the menu. Now we have to hear. That's okay if you don't want to. It's none of our business. So yeah, y'all give me some more. Yep, yep, that is true, Leia. That is true. That is true. Oh, nice. Sadly, I probably won't eat that. If I was there, I probably wouldn't eat that. I'm very finicky about food. Just to let you guys know, I'm very fin. There's some food I'm willing to eat, and there's some food I've tried, and I'm like never again. Nope, never again. You have to tie me down and force feed me to eat that. Oh, Brian again with the Fire Emblem. I like Alencia from Fire Emblem because she had an interesting transition from Tagalong to indecisive queen to more decisive leader. There's That's another thing you can do with leaders too. The hero's journey to leadership, the leadership journey, as I like to call it. How they have the makings of a leader, but they're too unsure of what they're doing. They're afraid of making that false mistake that could totally end people end with people dying. They also are afraid of that responsibility of carrying the weight of people's deaths on their hands. And that's another quality that yeah, that's another. Yeah, I can't talk. I cannot talk. English is the foreign language for me now. What I was saying was that fear stifles them. How could this stream be about leadership and I haven't even talked about Leonidas from 300? Now that's a leader. That is a Spartan king that led few against many, a poultry-sized army against a legion of slaves. Now that's a leader, if I say so myself. With the commands, the speeches he gives, and he gets his hands dirty, and he leads his troops alongside with them. This is where we hope. Sorry, that's a bad interpretation of Leonidas' voice. I'm very good with Leonidas' voice. Try it again. This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they died. On these shields, boys. Oh, madness. This is Sparta. Especially Xerxes, the exchange between him and Xerxes. Come, Leonidas. Let us use our reason. Surely we can settle this surely we can settle this yeah, I can't talk right now. Now, that's another leader I kind of admire too, Xerxes. Because there's something, again, grandiose about Xerxes. The way how he amassed a whole army of slaves and how they're willing to die for him, even out of fear. Even out of fear, they're willing to die for him. And I can't forget the granddaddy of all time, Thulsa Doom from Conan the Barbarian. James Earl Jones does a really good job with villain roles, and he also does a good job being a leader too. I should have quoted his Troy from Fences on the father motherhood stream, because there's something about his portrayal of Troy in Fences that really stuck with me, and I wish I could have seen that play firsthand with him as Troy. And there's something about him like imagine if Mufasa had to talk to Simba like that, and they're lions too, by the way. But imagine if he had to talk to Simba like that. The way he talked to Ricky, I think his name was, or was it? What's the son's name? Leia, if you know about Fences, what's the son's name again in Fences? Because I'm pretty sure both of us know. Well, I should know, but I'm probably saying his name wrong. But you can correct me, especially when he's King Joffrey the Third, and I think his name. I think it's the third. I could be wrong. And Coming to America, there's something about like half the time you see him, he's got this relaxed demeanor about him around his son. But when he gets pissed, oh boy. I agree. Let me read that comment from Leah Plus Size. Steve Rogers to me shined as a leader in Winter Soldier. Love how he stood up to Nick Fury in the scene where he said Hydra and Shield both had to go. Yeah, even a leader who actually serves a different cause or a cause bigger than him is willing to say that the cause is lost once it's been corrupted. So that was very big of Steve to point that out to Nick Fury about Shield being compromised. And even Nick Fury, he's a great leader too, depending on which version you like, white Fury or black Fury. It don't matter to me. You can like both of them just as equally. Now, White Fury, he's got the way how they play him up in the comics. At times, he could be questionable. He could be morally corrupt sometimes, or at least he can do things that make us question his morals. But he gets the job done, and he cares about his troops. So there's that. Same thing with Black Fury. Cares about his troops, willing to do everything he can to get things done above all else. Even when he held a spot in the helicarrier in the Avengers, while everybody was trying to keep the ship from crashing into the ocean, you see him. He's like standing there. He's like holding position in the kneel position. I think that's what it's called, the kneel position. And he shoots one of Loki's men. He says, "You are not getting through that door." I was like, boom, right there. That's my boy Nick Fury right there. Boom. It's like he says it and he commits to it. You are not getting through that door. Y'all, y'all can funnel yourselves in. Y'all not getting through that door at all. Granted, Hawkeye found a way around it still, but that's Hawkeye. I mean, come on, it's Hawkeye. Hawkeye should know the helicarrier from inside and out, right? It's Hawkeye. But other than that, like, that's another lead. Well, I wouldn't say he's the leader that people should follow examples from, but like, he's a start. Okay, Brian's got a comment here. Speaking of evil leaders, how about Sigma from Mega Man X, who led the Maverick Hunters before becoming a Maverick himself? Now, that is that's what I like to call a fallen leader, or at least a fallen hero, because Sigma was a hero. Remember, Sigma was a fallen hero, and in the world of Mega Man, they tend to talk about the whole idea of Maverick Hunters being vulnerable enough to become Maverick themselves, but they never seem to explore that with Mega Man himself that much until I believe later on in the Mega Man Zero series, I believe. But then that was another Mega Man, not the Mega Man. They never explored Mega Man turning Maverick, but Sigma was basically that idea of a Maverick Hunter becoming Maverick, and that's why he's the main. He was People tend to argue that they overuse Sigma a lot in the series, but yeah, I agree with them because there's some instances where he shows up out of nowhere. He's like Dio in that regards. You think it was this guy, but it was I, Sigma, who was the real brains behind this. But yeah, he's a leader, but he was a leader, but he was a fallen hero as well. Now, give me some more names that y'all can think of when y'all can think of them. Because again, my favorite tyrannical rulers were Rao, Fosa, Saucer even. There's also Saucer. Um, can't say Kafka because Kafka is more of the loose cannon wild card of the series of Final Fantasy. And I can't really say Seymour because what do he command from Final Fantasy X? What legions do Seymour really command? From all I've seen thus far in Final Fantasy X, when I was playing that game, I was almost like what 50, 60, 70% almost done with that game. I've never seen him let anybody, or at least there's never a moment where he orders anybody to do anything. He's just hell around half the time. Rufus Shinra is one tyrannical ruler in his own corporation. There's a grandiose about him, especially his son. Did I just call Rufus Dad Rufus? I meant President Shinra. Rufus is a good leader because he leads the Turks, and the Turks follow him, and they survive because of him to some extent. Pretty sure some of them die, if I recall correctly, like in Crisis Core, I believe. I think most of them died at that point because the only Turks that were left are Reno, Sung, Rude, Elena, and that's about it. And you can probably count Vincent because he was originally a Turk before he became the Vincent we know in 7. Uh, I guess we can talk about Final Fantasy 12, but I don't know much about that game because I refuse to play that game. Sadly, I don't count Yuna as a leader considering Final Fantasy 10 2. I mean, does she really lead the Gold Wings or the Spirit or any of her Spirit Hunter troop? She mostly seems like a more of a cool best friend among her group rather than a leader. I don't think she leads that much. I mean, if you guys disagree, go ahead. Feel free to disagree. Tell me why you disagree that Yuna is actually a leader. I mean, she's kind of a leader in Final Fantasy X, but is she really a leader in Final Fantasy X too? Lightning ain't Lightning ain't even a leader herself in Final Fantasy 13. She just have everybody tag along with her. That's it. She doesn't really like. I think the only time she ever does that is towards the end of the game when they're fighting the what's his name again? Uncle Grandpa. No, not Uncle Grandpa. Evil Grandpa, I call him. But I don't think she's a lead. I wouldn't call her a leader. She's more of a renegade. Yeah, that's what she is. She's a renegade. Everybody, answer me this in the comments. Have you ever heard of the show called The Renegade? That's where I get my archetype from. The renegade, somebody who operates outside of the law to right the wrongs that the police can't. Kind of like basically a vigilante. But I call them. But in the case of from the show The Renegade, that's why I call them the Renegades. And that's what Lightning is. She's a renegade. To me, she is. Snow's best man though. Snow's best man. No, 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 bro, no, no. No, no. Man, no. Lightning is not a Karen. Lightning is not a Karen. Oh, Chris P is still alive. Yep, Lorenzo Lamas, that guy. Wow, 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 wow. That. I need to get that show on DVD or some. I need to find that show. That was my show when I was a kid. And the only reason why I watched that show was because that opening narration of that show. That was my Knight Rider. I watched Knight Rider 2, the reruns of Knight Rider. But like if I had to go with what was a Knight Rider for us 90s kids, Renegade. Even though he didn't have no talking car or in this case a talking motorcycle, that was Knight Rider for us. For me and my brother. We love Knight Rider. Don't get me wrong. We love Knight Rider. But for me, like I said, to me my Knight Rider was Renegade. I love Renegade though. That and Kung Fu the legend continues with David Carradine, and he's like traveling around just kicking butt. Anybody remember Kung Fu the legend continues? You know, that's probably gonna be another Wolf. I would say I would have some Wolf Commander Ramble episodes where we just have fun just talking about old stuff, or at least I'll name you guys some stuff that y'all probably never heard of, or y'all probably did hear of. That's probably what I'm gonna want to do one of these days. Just name you guys some stuff. Um, Especially with sliders. Sliders. Remember sliders? I shared that on the Professor Geeks Facebook group. The opening. I try to show some old '90s stuff that people probably seen or probably heard of and probably forgotten about, but hopefully it jogs some people's memories. I'm getting so off track now. Let me get back. Let me take it back to leaders again. Y'all guys give me some leaders. But back to what Brian said. I don't count Lion as a Karen. I just call her. See you next Tuesday. That's basically what she is. I learned that from Troy himself. She can be a see you next Tuesday sometimes. But she's not a Karen. She doesn't go around asking for people's managers, is what I'm saying. And she doesn't like I said, she's a renegade. She knows exactly what she wants. She'll get what she wants, but the way how they handle her character at times, it can be off putting because it does come off a bit sociopathic to say the least. And the way how she has little respect for Snow, who's willing to do everything he can to save Sarah too. I'm like, I'm like, that's one thing that angered me about. That's one thing that really angered me about. It did, Crispy Sliders. It did. Yeah, Arcade Barnes. I was just talking about Optimus Primal. Take to only make orders he would take himself. Yep. Yeah, I was just talking about Optimus Primal earlier. He even spared Dinobot, even though Dinobot's moral code, or at least it's his own word code, dictated for him um, to be slain. Optimus Primal would not slay him. Optimus Primal would not slay Dinobot because his code says otherwise. He's not going to slay a fall. He's gonna he saw a quality in Dinobot that was very endearing. I wouldn't say useful because that's something Megatron would see as something useful, whereas Optimus Prime took him in as part of the team now, regardless of where his affiliations lied in. And Dinobot let follow him due to a Warriors Pact with Optimus Prime. Inferno, the ant. I mean, Inferno. He leads by virtue of the hive mind of the ant. So he's following my queen. Stop calling me that. Do stop calling me that. Yes. Ooh, yes. That Megatron. He's cool. He's slimy. He's deliciously evil. But he's nothing compared to the original Megatron, which leads by fear. That Megatron, the classic Megatron, led by fear. He pushes people to do his bidding, and his false descendant, as is plainly stated, that he's not really a descendant of Megatron. He adopted the name. So basically, he everything shall burn. I will burn everything for my queen. Is that an Inferno line? You give me a Waspinator line. I could do a good Waspinator. I mean, I'm boasting. I should do one now. Waspinator terrorize. Waspinator is sick and tired of being torn to pieces. You know what? This is probably gonna be a short stream. So let me get into the voice acting side of things, shall we? Y'all give me some leaders that y'all want me to try to do a voice. Would y'all want to hear y'all favorite leader lines? I'll try to look for one for our enjoyment. I think this is gonna be a short stream because I ain't got nothing else to say about leadership anymore. So let's go with it. Yeah, I agree. Even Rampage did not respect Megatron at all because he knows that's not original Megatron, or at least he knows he's not he's not a descendant of Megatron. I did like Depth Charge. Depth Charge to me is a renegade too, or he's a Dirty Harry type. You gotta love Depth Charge. Depth Charge is he's boss. None of y'all was, but their body hurts all over. Now give me some more lines to read. Let me see if I. And when y'all do that, please put the names of the characters, please, so I know exactly who y'all referencing. Everybody participate. Give me a line to read while I look for lines of my own to read out real quick. I'll give you my best Macbeth voice while I'm looking for lines. Demona, you know her? Ha 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 ha! Know her? I named her. That's as best as I could get it. I could barely do a Scottish accent, or at least what counted as a Scottish accent in that show. I am so tired. A wise king considers all possibilities. Could probably do a Hudson. Speaking of Hudson from Gargoyles, he was originally the clan leader. Remember that episode? I would say that, Brian, but I don't know if that's appropriate for this stream. I will give you my best Beavis voice though. Cool. Yeah. Beavis, you doofus. It's been a while since I did Beavis and Butthead. It's probably because I'm sitting down. I could do a better job when I'm standing up, and I don't want to stand up. As a matter of fact, I probably do all these voice lines a lot better if I'm standing up. But again, I do not want to stand up right now. I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy. I could probably do my best Cold Stone line. Agree, brother? Is that you? Ah, the voice is in my head. Guys, give me some Cold Stone lines so I can do a better job. Give me some Cold Stone lines. You know who Cold Stone is, don't y'all? Let me look up Maximus. Shoot, wrong one. Let's go with Gladiator, shall we? On my signal, unleash hell. Or you know what? Let me do Achilles from Troy. Achilles, Achilles, Achilles. Check out comments real quick. Yeah, I could do their laughs. I could definitely do their laughs. Cool. You said undies. I could do a Pauly Shore. I could do Pauly Shore too. Specifically, Bobby from a Goofy movie. Hey, Mezz, what's up, bro? And then saying, oh man, we the juice. I'll be back. Yeah, be careful. There's got a lot of ice in the middle. Later, I'll try my Aragorn voice. Yeah, let me repeat that. Later, I will try my Aragorn voice. Y'all tell me which speech y'all want from me to try with Aragorn. Oh, I don't know. Why I even say that? I know what speech I want. I'll even try my Theoden voice. Yeah, I'll try my Theoden voice too. I could probably do a really good Theoden voice. Hope y'all stuck around for my Gandalf voice. How would y'all rate my Gandalf voice from Tuesday? Who was Mr. Buzzcut? Are you talking about Fairly Odd Parents? Because if you are, I can't do Fairly Odd Parents. I didn't watch that show that much. The premise of it turned me off. Just what I'm saying. The premise of that one turned me off. The idea that a little kid had all that power. I mean, granted, there is some rules to the wishes that he can do, but like that, I was like, nah, that's not my cup of tea. I don't like that idea. I've seen far too many movies and shows where a kid gets wishes, or episodes and shows where a kid gets wishes, and things turn out bad for him. And like to me, like sometimes they do explore the negative effects of the wishes, but sometimes they don't. I don't know. I'm like, it's like that's like a premise like that should have been a one episode. It's always should be a one episode thing. Oh, okay. Yeah, I probably don't know who that is. I probably don't know. Oh, you are you talking about teacher, gym teacher? Is that the Hank Hill character before Hank Hill? I could do a Hank Hill. D- Crispy, don't recommend me any beers about head characters because that require me to swear, and I'm trying not to swear. I want to make this at least like accessible to all of our groups. Now, see, you gotta narrow it down. That could be any scene. Leia, that could be any scene. That's gonna take me all day looking for that. But I'm gonna try my Achilles voice. If once I get to the voice lines, get to quotes. Guys, just letting you guys know, I'm always looking at IMDb for these quote lines. So give me some time to look them up. Oh, I don't like that trivia. I just read something that didn't sit well with me about Troy. Huh? That That right there, that's a that's probably gonna be another Wolf Commander topic too. Hopefully, but that didn't sit well with me. What I just read on IMDb just now, that was not. That just shows how out of touch some writers can be sometimes. I don't like that. I do not like that. Should have been a better reason why you wouldn't include that in such a movie. I mean, I mean, Hector said it best in the movie. I just lost it again. All right, let me try this one more time. It's getting my computer's getting on nerves. I'm surprised StreamYard is still working at this point. Y'all give me some lines while I'm looking for that. And please put the names of the characters so I know to whom I'm voicing. Please do that for me. Y'all can give me a Leonidas. Y'all can even have me do more Leonidas lines if y'all like. I like doing Leonidas. As a matter of fact, I used to do Leonidas lines all the time after seeing 300. Spartans, prepare for glory. Take your drinks and eat hearty, for tonight. Said the line wrong. Get Spartans, tend to your breakfast and eat hearty, for tonight we dine in hell. I like Stelios' line to Leonidas when he got them all together. We are with you, sir, for Sparta, for glory. Fun fact: that was Michael Fassbender as Stelios. In case you guys were wondering, the one who says, "Then we shall fight in the shade." That was Magneto. So Michael Fassbender has been in quite a number of comic book movies. He's been in X-Men, of course. But he was in another comic book movie that I can't put my finger on, but he was also in 300, which is technically a comic book movie because it's the Frank Miller adaptation of the comic. The adaptation of the Frank Miller comic. But he's been in a lot of. You know who else has been in a lot of comic book movies? Steve Rogers himself. Chris Evans. He was Human Torch. He was Steve Rogers. And he was also Lucas Lee in Scott Pilgrim vs. World. So you had Captain Marvel. Brie Larson was Envy Adams in that one. It's before she became Captain Marvel, though. You also had there's another person there that was also in a comic book movie too. Yeah, Captain America, Captain Marvel, and you had that pregnant woman from Snowpiercer. Kim Pine was the pregnant woman in Snowpiercer that tried to kill them. Okay, I found the key sign I want to read, but I'm gonna check your comments real quick before I go into that. Yes, that was a comic book. That was a comic book movie. Yes, yes, that is true, Crispy. He was in The Losers along with the comedian and Gamora. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in there. He was comedian in Watchmen, and Zoe Saldana was in there as who there will become Gamora. You're right. He was in The Losers. That was also a comic movie that went under the radar that nobody knows about. Nobody knows about The Losers that much. I seen it. I wasn't really that impressed with it. Wasn't all that impressed with it. Yeah, that was kind of. I'm pretty sure all the girls went wild with him having long hair. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna try my Achilles voice from Troy, Brad Pitt. I'm gonna attempt a Brad Pitt voice, guys. Myrmidons, my brothers of the sword. I'd rather fight beside you than any army of the thousands. Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions. Do you know what's waiting beyond that beach? Immortality. Take it. It's yours. Or I like this line between him and Priam later on in the movie. Who are you? I have endured what no one on earth has endured before. I kiss the hands of the man who killed my son. Priam, how'd you get in here? I know my country better than the Greeks, I think. You're a brave man. Could have your head on a spit in the blink of an eye. Do you really think death frightens me now? I watched my oldest son die. Watched you drag his body behind your chariot. Give him back to me. He deserves a proper burial. You know that. Give him to me. He killed my cousin. He thought it was you. How many cousins have you killed? How many sons and fathers and brothers and husbands? How many, brave Achilles? As best as I can do with I believe that's what's his name? Ah yes. Ah yes. Yeah, that is true. Brandon Routh and Thomas Jane were also in comic book movies, but also in Scott Pilgrim. And Leia Plus Size, yes, I know he was yeah, Chris Evans was beast in Snowpiercer. I did not like his Giant Storm though. Or at least he played them in the right way that I didn't like Giant Storm. Like if we were meant to not really like Giant Storm like that, have at it. But yeah. Sorry, I was reading something real quick. I like this line between Hector and Achilles. Go home, priest. Drink some wine. Make love to your wife. Tomorrow we have a war. You speak of war as if it's a game. How many wives wait at Troy's gates for husbands they'll never see again? Perhaps your brother can comfort them. I hear he's good at charming other men's wives. I can do it. Probably do a Sean Bean voice. I could try. Yeah, we're at the tail end, guys. I'm slowly winding down, but I'm gonna try to give you guys some treats before I leave the stream for you guys. Not leaving right now, but I'm like looking up some stuff. I'm gonna satiate Leia Plus Size with my Aragorn voice though. I'm gonna do his speech in Return of the King. How about that? Since since Leia want me to choose, I'll choose his speech for Return of the King. Let's go with that then. I'll try that one. I can do my Gimli voice. Nobody tosses a dwarf. Oh, there were two hobbits. Two of them. And then I'll try my Eomir voice. Pretty sure I can do a good Carl Urban voice. I can try. I can do my Dread voice. Rookie, you ready? You look ready. Mama's not the. I could try this one. Mama's not the law. I'm law. Can't even do Steve Sylvester Stallone's Judge Dredd. That still counts as one. Sorry, let me try that again. That still counts as one. We should try the mines of Moria. My cousin Byron will give us a warm welcome. Red meat right off the bone. Whatever's word for friend. Melna. I gotta attempt a smog voice. How about that? I'm dancing around ideas, guys. I'm gonna try to do a little bit of stuff. I tried my Golem voice last stream. I don't know how you guys thought I did with that one. I did my Obi-Wan voice. Hello there. And again, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy. If you're not with me, then you are my enemy. Only a Sith deals in absolute. I shall do it, huh? Yeah. My voice cracked. I shall do it, yeah. And my lips are tongue tied. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop Star Wars. I think my mind is telling me don't do Star Wars. You're not in the right set of mind, or you're not well fed at the moment. All right, here's a speech. Hold your ground! Hold your ground! Sons of Gundor of Rohan, my brothers! I see in your eyes the same fear that would take part of me. A day may come when the courage of men falls, when we forsake our friends and break all bonds of friendship. But it is not this day, an hour of wolves and shattered shields, when the age of man come crashing down. But it is not this day. This day we fight. By all you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you, stand men of the West! Yeah, this is close. I can get it. That was my Aragorn voice, guys. I'll try another line. Yeah. My friends, you bow to no one. I'm gonna try Theoden real quick. Take a swig of this lemonade. Get my throat cleared. Y'all rate my Aragorn in the comments real quick too while I do that. I want to see what y'all think about that. Hey man, take your arrow down the right left flank. Gimli, follow the king's banner down the center. Grimble, take your company right after you pass the wall. Forth and fear no darkness. Arise! Arise, riders of Theoden! Spears shall be shaken. Shields shall be splintered. A sword day. A red day. Already the sun rises. Whatever happens, stay with me. I'll look after you. Ride now! Ride now! Ride! Ride to ruin the world's ending! Death! 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 Forth, Erlingas! Seems like nobody's commenting, or maybe the StreamYard is still trying to catch up with the comments. You guys probably are saying some things, but the StreamYard is like taking too long to load it up. Seems like nothing is moving. That's what I'm saying. You know where I think they got that line from Captain Marvel from? I think they ripped off Return of the King, where she says, "I have nothing to prove." I think they ripped off Eowyn, which was, I'm gonna say this right now. Eowyn is a better female character than Captain Marvel. Eowyn can be a great leader herself too, but she knows her duty as to her country and to her men, even to her uncle. Even when he told her nay, she rode into battle. And that's the qualities of a good leader too. Even if she didn't lead her own company, there's a quality to leading you through your own wits and your bravery. So she went in and fought alongside her men. And that's all we needed. We didn't really need the scene where the women go out to fight alongside the men in Battle of the Five Armies. We didn't need that. Oh wow, that's interesting. Can you explain why, Crispy? Why you like Aragorn and why you like Theoden more than Aragorn? Just explain. I'm not trying, not challenging your comment there. I just want to know. You got me curious. I can do Sam. I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you. Fool of a took. Next time, cast yourself down there and be rid of some. Yeah, can't talk. Home is behind. Oh, ooh, no. Don't try to sing. My voice is tired. I will not try to sing, guys. I'm sorry. I was gonna try to do Pippin's song. Can't do it. My voice is not. My voice is wearing down. I tried to sing it, man. I was like, nah, nah, nah. Don't do it. Your voice is strained enough trying to do all these immaculate voices. Well, did I? Well, tell me, did I do a good job though? Did it inspire you, or was it, or or I just didn't have special effects behind me backing me up? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try Smaug's voice. I'm pretty sure you guys like Smaug. I'm gonna try Smaug's voice. Relax my voice a bit. Ah, no, wrong one. Crud. Huh. How would you rate my Theoden then? Out of 10, I mean. Anybody else rate me? Out of 10, all the voices I've done. So I've done Waspinator, I've done Aragorn, I've done Theoden, I've even done Dread. Judge Dredd, I mean. How would you rate those? I've even done who else did I did? I did Leonidas. How would you rate my Leonidas and my Achilles from Troy? Throw the ratings in there. I like to improve on my voice patterns. So a little constructive criticism would be nice. A little constructive criticism goes a long way. That's what I'm saying. I'm not immune to criticism. You guys can criticize me all y'all want. Tell you that right now. I'm not immune to criticism. The wife criticized me a lot. I can handle that. I see what you know. What now that you mentioned that in speech, it does inspire bravery because they're making peace with the fact that even if they're going to charge into the enemy, they may die. You know, but they're going to do it anyways. Like we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to fight. That's what basically just that's what basically got them through that first part of the battle. It's like they were able to break through the enemy's phalanx too, which was pretty inspiring. Like that's one thing of overcoming an obstacle. Now that's a I would say Theoden. I'm saying give me numbers. So give me the ones that you know. Waspinator was from Beast Wars, from Transformers Beast Wars. That's where Waspinator is from. But yeah, rate my Theoden, rate my Dread, and rate my Aragorn at a scale of 10. Okay, it's taking a sweet time. I'm gonna try my smog voice, and you guys can give me the rating there too. Because I know a lot of people who hear me do voice act, they know I tend to force it at times. Just don't ask me to do a Legacy of Kane voice. I cannot match the majesty that is of Tony. He played the Elder God. I can try, but I will not be able to match that excellence. Okay, you missed out, but okay. But yeah, Watchman Era is from Beast Wars, but just letting you know. I'm gonna try Smile next, if my computer will let me. I know it's supposed to be leaders. I'm supposed to be quoting leaders, but we can have a little phone side too. And it's taking a sweet time yet again. And for some reason, it went backwards. My computer's weird, guys. My computer is weird. Can give another one while we wait. Oh wow, that's a nice number. That's a nice number. That is that is not. Oh wow. Will somebody else give me a rating too? I'd like to hear from other people. I'm pretty sure Leia's probably eating dinner right now. But if anybody's still in the chat, give me a rating. So you gave my Theoden an 8. Wow. It's been a while since I voiced Theoden. Theoden has some really good quotes. And growing up, I would watch Two Towers like every day. Every single time I get a chance to at my grandma's house because she had it. And yeah, I like Theoden. Rohan is mine. Or like, I know your face. Is this all you can conjure up, Saruman? See your next quote, your next comment. I want to say I was in high school when Beast Wars was on. Do you remember the year it was out? I would say about 94, 95, maybe 97. This was around the time Reboot was out. You ever heard that show Reboot? With Bob, Fong, Dot Matrix, Anzo Matrix, Megabyte, Hexadecimal, chick that can switch her faces with masks, Hexadecimal. Used to come on Channel 7, ABC. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of Reboot. That was my show too, way before Beast Wars and Shadow Raiders, aka War Planets, came about too. Now I like War Planets too. I guess while y'all waiting, I'm gonna give you guys another Wolverine line from the '90s X-Men. And next time it'll be one of these, and you, Scott. Let's go, Bob. They're gonna kill him. Good riddance. I'm gonna try to do Wolverine from X-Men Evolution too. Mystique. She can change her appearance, but not her scent. Elf! How many times I got to tell you, ask for it, and it'll get passed down to you. I'm sorry, you're a minute of talking. I didn't want to, I didn't want, shit, I didn't want to disturb you. That's much better. Yeah, I won't judge you for that, buddy. I won't judge you. You must be, Crispy, I think you're older than me. If you were in high school, I was going to, I was probably going out of elementary all the way up to middle school at that point. I think I was in middle school now, sixth grade. You could be older than me. I'm 33 as of right now. Okay, IMDb is being a butthole, and I don't know why. It was telling me that I should quit now, and I'll probably do this stuff a lot, do more voice work in the next topic. Oh yeah, so you're early 40s or close to mid 40s. Okay, crazy. You know what, guys? Yeah, let's call it now. You guys seem to be fading, and I gotta eat. All right, Leia. I read my dinner's ready, but I heard your Wolverine and more Lord of the Rings. Cool. I'll deliver next Wolf Commander Rambles. I'll do some more Lord of the Rings reads. So yeah. Anyways, guys, this has been your Wolf Commander, your werewolf. So thanks again for joining me today and being inspired by leaders and giving your thoughts about leaders. So let me go over what's probably happening today. Hopefully today is Professor Geek doing a brand new book read, or maybe they're doing something at the Catholic Bible Geek, or there may be something Troy's doing tonight. Tomorrow will be Fan Man and whatever he's got country up, or Al maybe doing something tomorrow. Saturday, either Al or Troy will be doing a rewatch of something. I don't know what it is. Maybe Sunday will be. I don't think we're going to be doing a rewatch on my channel because I ain't got nothing that Owen has yet. I don't know what Owen's down for yet, but there's nothing for me. But there will be Study Hall with Troy and Age Boomer, and later on will be me and Matchsticks. Leia, I believe you know what? For any of us fans, it will be next week will be the Power Ranger stream. Next Tuesday will be talking about the Power Rangers stream. If you're up for that, if you want to hear some knowledge about the Power Rangers, we can do that. I just like to. I just like. I just want to pick a day where we have a reminiscing day. You know, we talk about nerd stuff, and I mentioned this last stream because there's not nearly enough Power Ranger content on YouTube, so I want to open up that bridge. I want to do a Power Ranger stream because nobody hardly talks about Power Rangers, and from what I gathered, a lot of people don't really care much about Power Rangers, but I care about Power Rangers, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you, most of you do. Most of you do. So I'm definitely going to do that next Tuesday, the Power Ranger stream. Um, Again, later on after study hall will be me and Mr. Matchsticks. We watch. I don't know what we watching, but I will be there as his co-host. Monday will be Sound Engraver. Oh, hey there, Sound Engraver. Monday Night Muse. Whatever topic it is, hopefully it's going to be good. She obviously delivers on that. Tuesday will be something the professor will be watching, maybe. I don't know. Could be Troy tonight that night. I enjoyed your stay too, Leia. Hopefully I'll keep this momentum going. But anyways, guys, this has been your Wolf Commander, Wolf Tan Media, signing out.